format called image. Good evening, guys. So in the last session, we discussed something about Maven, right? Maven basic points we discussed. All right. Let us start with the second session. So today we'll configure Maven on the Linux operating system. Let's configure Maven on Linux, Amazon Linux or Red Hat, whatever it is. Let's configure Maven on the Linux. Yesterday I already said Maven is going to run on top of JVM process. It is mandatory to understand two basic things. One is JDK and JRE. When you install the components, you get two things: Java Development Kit, Java Runtime Environment. So this JDK basically used to build the applications. If you want to develop any software project using Java, they should install JDK. Once the builds are generated, if you want to run any application on the server, we need JRE. JRE stands for Java Runtime Environment. Java Runtime Environment. Java Runtime Environment. JDK stands for Java Development Kit. Java Development Kit. Java Runtime Environment. So one of the main component inside the JRE is a JVM, Java Virtual Machine. This is a very, very hard to the production engineers who are working as a SRE. So I will try to demonstrate on Monday using some powerful tools which are very essential. And remember one key point, I'm trying to explain the build part in two levels. One is monolithic applications. In the sense, in monolithic architecture, how the build is look like. In monolithic architecture, if you develop the applications, from the application, how can you develop the builds? Now, nowadays, we are working on microservice environment, microservice architecture. In microservice architecture, how applications are built, from the applications, how builds are going to generate. We'll discuss so that you will get more clarity over the things. Here, without JVM, you cannot run the build, first of all. It means if you develop the applications in the Java, if you are trying to generate the build for the Java-based applications, we need a JVM. Okay. The JVM should have some specific size. That's called heap size. Heap, the fundamental you should understand, like heap size. What is a heap size? If I say, you will get confused. To run my Java application, to run Java-based applications in the JVM, JVM requires some space, but that is not actual definition. If I want to say again, I should explain the JVM architecture, class loaders. So under class loaders is a static class loading or dynamic class loading. What are the differences between a stack and heap and everything? So you're a bit confused. But remember, in generally, if you want to deploy, if you want to build the builds in the Java-based environment, got my point? So the minimum recommended heap size at least 1024 kilobytes. For large-based application, minimum you should get have a 2048 kilobytes. So minimum heap size. If the particular heap size is not enough, for example, very simple, suddenly 50 members came to your home. In the hall, maybe may not enough. That's why you have to think about your future forecasting functions, and maybe according to your house needs, you will adjust your room size, right? That's why to run the Java applications on the production environment, minimum heap size should get minimum 2048 kilobytes. Okay. Even more also. Depends on this how much space required. Got it? This is not your job. The production engineers like who are having big experience, who are handling the performance, they will take care about it. So how to set the heap size? Why should I set the heap size is a different concept. Just postpone 1 or 2 days. And the Monday or Tuesday, I will explain theoretically. But if I explain practically again, you will get both JVMX. I have to say, explain the minimum size and maximum size. So that is a one thing. Now, sir, okay, first let us configure the Java. No document. Okay, no issue. So number. Okay, do one thing. Let's try to connect. Let me log in as root user. cd opt sudo yum install -y java. Latest version I'm taking. Okay, then you try to once Java was installed, like which version it is? Java version. It's a 24. Latest version we downloaded. Next, we have to configure the environment variables. Yes. We are not working on the Jenkins. We're working on the Maven. So then good question is, if you go to the Jenkins, then we'll think about compatible version of all the tools versions, right? In the Jenkins, we are trying to integrate Java, Maven, Docker, Ansible. Every tools will set, right? So continuous integration completely deal with the Java. Here, we are dealing the Java-based applications, right? But if someone asks about the .NET, that is a different story. You will configure Jenkins, will configure any kind of applications inside the Jenkins. Okay, we'll see. The compatibility issues we'll see later. Okay, cool. So first of all, you have to configure environment variables. So for this, let me find the JVM where exactly. First, we have to identify the JVM where JRE exists, because without JRE, you cannot run over any software applications. Very common sense, right? No need to buy hat, no need to confuse, just leave it. So here, paste. I'm just using, I want to find out any JVM whose versions are available with the Java 24. So I got this one. You try to take the second one, x86 64, copy. Then vi tilde slash dot bash underscore profile. Go to the insert mode, open the profile. In the user administration, I already discussed, that is a concept called environment variable. All environment variables are given capital letters only. Just is equal to paste. This is okay. Then once you set the Java home, you have to give the path where this Java home is saved. OS always looks at the executable path, so that to locate the kind of software you are using currently, to recognize for that, you should give the Java home path and attach the variable to the Java home path. So let me take the copy, and this is okay. So simple. All the tools you are installing on the Linux is going to store at the path. Path is a predefined environment variables. Path is a predefined, because if you observe it, all variables are in capital letter. If you recollect our shell scripting, I explained which is a local variable, which is an environment variable. All user defined or predefined variable should be defined in the capital letter. So then escape colon WQ. Just try to save the changes using source shell built-in command. The source shell built-in. Okay. Now if you open the current version Java and echo $Java underscore home, my home path is pointing to this JVM Amazon 24 Amazon Corretto dot x86 x64. So JVM set properly, Java paths properly. So next we need to download the Maven. The Maven, go to the browser, download Maven. Go to the first link. Just scroll down. There is a zip or a tad.gz. So here we need to definitely in this week, I will introduce a backup management, because build generation, build deployment, build backups, build profiles, pre-build activities, post-build activities, you have to learn very carefully. So let us copy this, copy the link address, go back here. So to download a file from the internet, we should use wget, right? Webget, give the URL, tad.gz. So it is successfully downloaded. Right. Right now I'm in this opt directory. So now if you observe this type, okay, see. So what is the format here? tar.gz. So copy this first, giving like type tar.gz. Okay, it should be file, right? So what kind of file it is? Apache Maven gzip, gunzip, gunzip. You should understand the backup. Backup in the sense what? You're taking the snapshot of the existing work, right? Even original file is deleted, you can recover from the backup file. That's why how to perform the backups, how many types of backups we'll discuss, right? Even in this week, coming week, we introduce the code build also, right? So we will deploy the applications in the Tomcat, even JBoss. At the same time, nowadays all the companies are asking the cloud platform. Like we already generates the package and deploy the package with the GitHub actions, shell functions we have seen, and GitLab also. Of course, in GitLab we have seen something like packages. So to deploy the application, okay, to deploy the applications, which applications? Either where, here, right? So where to deploy it? Where to deploy it? Specific environment. Which environment? Either Nexus or JFrog or actual server. But the key point here is in AWS, there is a relevant service is there. According to the, suppose I want to perform code, I want to deploy the bill, not deploy, sorry. I want to generate the bill. See? See, there is a code build. Code build is a service, right? So, like here we integrate Maven, right? Instead of using the Maven in on-premises environment, Mr. AWS provides a build service called as a code build. See, build and test the code. So first service you are going to hit the next week. So for this, you don't require any prerequisite because you're already in the build automation. We are explaining the Maven and we'll integrate using code build how Maven is going to generates the var file, right? Got it? So that's why we'll cover the code build web service also. Cool. Come back. Okay. Right. So to extract the file, tar hyphen x zvf. X in the sense extract, z as a file, v verbose on the file. So see, tar hyphen x zvf. See, hit it. Now go and clear the screen, ls. So I got Maven folder. So let me remove the existing bin folder. Then try to rename the Apache Maven 3.2 and say like ls. Let us change to Maven. Okay. So Maven. Next, we need to set up the environment variables for the Maven. Again, I'm repeating up to just build automation and Jenkins, right? We don't want to set up other environment variables. You can slightly install the Docker. We can install the Kubernetes. Okay. So whenever some softwares are depend on some specific technology like a Java language, it requires some sort of environment variables. I'm talking about only installation and configuration point of view. Okay, don't talk about other things. Other things in the sense, yes, we need to understand some other environments. Configuration files are different. Configuration binaries are different. Jar is different. Var is different. Year is different. Image is different. Helm repository is different. Your build files is different. Like we are using build.xml file, right? Am I right? Build.xml or not? No, right? Not getting XML. We should get yesterday what we discussed, pom.xml. So pom is just like a basic standard name. You can also rename it. We can rename also, but most of the guys use pom.xml file. So to confuse you, I want to rename it build.xml. No problem. Whatever name you gave it, by default, Maven gave the pom. I don't like it. You can rename it. Can't you rename it file using so common sense. It is not mandatory, but generally if they follow the conventions, right? అర్థమవుతుందా? Do you understand my point? That's why. So some tools may not require the environment variables. Some tools requires the environment variable. Why? Because all tools who develop the, of course, here one more thing is depends on how you configure the software. Okay. మీరు అబ్జర్వ్ చేస్తే we downloads the Java through JVM like m install -y Java. Now we didn't install the Maven through minstall Maven. We downloads the Maven file, then we set the environment variables. అర్థమవుతుందన్న? సో ఈవెన్ మీరు sudo m install -y Maven also. You can also install Maven. That's why you should not blindly remember, should not by heart it. So then we'll discuss, sir, what is the differences between installing the software through wget and minstall. That we'll see. Some mid companies will ask you, right, how you configure it. What are the different ways of configurations are there in your project environment? Could you please tell me? They'll ask. That moment will get boom. But in this context, let me open the bash underscore profile. So now you have to remember one of the common interview question is how to set up the Maven in the bash profile. So there is a two folders we have to use, m2 underscore home and m2. So there is a m2 underscore home is a predefined variable. According to the documentation, m2 is essential. But some of the installation also require m2 underscore home. So don't confuse blindly whenever you run the Maven, when you run the Maven by the Jenkins, any automation tool going to talk to the Maven always look for, I'm in the this folder, right? M2 is a mandatory. So copy both files, paste inside it, and attach to the path variable colon and set m2 and m2 underscore home. Next, source. Set the changes permanently. Source. Okay, then mvn-v is a command to check the Maven version. So first looking at the current Apache Maven version is 3.9, 1.0, Maven Home OPT Maven. Now it is using JVM 24 version running on the Linux. Okay. All right, sir. Maven is installed. Then what is the next step? I'm not developer, but I want to generate the build. With a simple command, I will explain it. What is that? But before that, you need a source code. You need a source code. Then, sir, already we have a e-commerce code on our GitHub repository. Go and download it and run it. But here, Maven always looks for which file? Build file, pom.xml file. Yesterday, what I said in presence of Amrit discussion, pom.xml file is built by the both developers and DevOps engineers. Initial development is done by developers only. You need to update and modify, enhance according to the build needs. Sir, I don't want to looking at the existing code. I don't want to use your e-commerce code. Can you please show me how Maven generates the project tree structure? Yesterday, we gave one feature called Maven is a project management tool. Maven is a build automation tool. Maven is used to automate the dependency management, plugin management. We gave some points, right? One of the main point is what? What is one of the main point? Maven is a project management tool. Project management in the sense, it generates the right to project tree structure. Yesterday, we opened Eclipse also. And if I simply create the Maven project, we got some SRC test main, SRC test Java, something like, right? So to generate first, remember it. So here, two things, right? One is art key type. Please note it down. Art key type and artifact. So archetype, artifact. Okay. First, you should understand archetype. Please note it down. Archetype is a archetype is a template is a template is a template used to generate used to generate used to generate Maven project tree structure used to generate Maven project tree structure automatically. Simply generating the code, project code. And when I run this command, I will discuss one command. When I run this command, automatically Maven generates a project tree structure as well as a build file. Build file is pom.xml. Now see how to do this. MVN archetype colon generate. MVN archetype colon generate. Again, I'm telling you, if you don't want to remember, no need to remember. Just to understand the tool behavior, and even DevOps engineer never include this line in the pipeline. But when you are exploring about the tool, the tool behavior, tool features, tool configurations, tool tips, tool plugins, dependencies, deployment, and packages, unit testing, code coverage, static code analysis, and integration of your repositories, and integrating the Docker, integrating your servers, and perform the build automation, generating the reports, even if you bit move forward, automating the release automation. So these are the top 15 points you have to learn as a DevOps engineer. So, okay, in old interviews, old people, still they'll ask this kind of questions. Okay. So this command you just try to looking at. If you want to write, you can write. So MV not, but they never ask. But if they ask, I don't know. -D group ID. Yesterday I have seen whenever I open the Eclipse, it is asking the group ID. Group ID is nothing but your company name or your client name. So org dot com dot org dot mypro. I given. Next, -D artifact ID. I should be capital, D should be capital, is equal to my pro I given it. Next, -D archetype artifact ID. Archetype artifact ID. I should be capital here. Is equal to maven hyphen archetype hyphen fix start. Next, -D interactive mode. Interactive mode is equal to false. Maven archetype generate -D group ID. So this command will generate the right project tree structure for the looking at here. This one you have to remember in generally. What I given? Archetype hyphen quick start. Quick start, nothing but when you run this command, Maven generates the basic sample Java code for the client application, like a desktop applications. Desktop related code, it will generate. A sample Java code generates. Okay, that Java code is going to give the output as something. First run it. First see the output. It downloads something. Downloading in the sense what dependencies. Yesterday I said right dependencies. We'll discuss dependency plugins. So this is the project tree structure is created successfully, right? So first of all, lot of modifications enter into this side when you run that command. What is that? First of all, see the ls. I got a directory called as a mypro. So cd mypro ls. There is a pom.xml file and one second, guys. Sorry. So ls. So here if I say cd src ls, there are two folders, main folder and test folder. Uh, Main is for development folder, test is for testing related structure. So if I go to the cd main ls, so cd java, see whatever I given, right? Cd com org, under org I have given my pro. Go to the my pro. We got a simple Java code, app.java. This is a simple Java code for hello world. This is simply a simple Java code they given it, right? Okay. Next, escape colon WQ. Oh boy. Next, cd till. So I have ls cd my pro cd src. Under src we have test. Again, cd java com and arg and my pro. We have a app test.java. If I open that, there are some test cases, unit test cases, right? Generally, this is a developer's job, writing the test cases, unit test cases, integration test cases. So it means that without my intervention, when I come to Maven, Maven is going to educate me about its behavior. So if you want to understand my behavior, you please take my template. I'll give the right to project restructure for the development, for the testing, and you can build your own logic according to my structure. That is simple, such a easy way. No need to think too much. Suppose now there is a one more file, we got it. We have a main and folder. Now see, pom.xml file. This is the one people who only blindly, oh, అంటే ఎంత అంటే సింప్లీ పిచ్చోళ్ళే ఇచ్చారు ఆ టూల్. మనోళ్ళు ఏంటంటే ఇగ్నోరబిలిటీ. టెస్టింగ్ వాళ్ళు కూడా అంతే దారుణంగా వాడతారు మీరు మేవన్. అసలు మీ భాషలో మేవన్ అంటే ఏమి లేదు, జస్ట్ లైక్ ఏదో డిపెండెన్సీ యాడ్ చేయడం వరకే మాత్రమే. రేపు చూస్తారు ఈ వీక్ బర్న్ అవుద్ది, మీ స్కిన్ అంతా బర్న్ అవుద్ది. హౌ ద గ్రేట్నెస్ ఆఫ్ టూల్, రైట్? సో ఎంత కామెడీ చూస్తే అసలు మిమ్మల్ని చూస్తే టెస్టింగ్ వాళ్ళు సింప్లీ వాట్ ఈస్ అ మేవన్, డిపెండెన్సీ మేనేజ్మెంట్, ఎంవిఎన్ ప్యాకేజ్, ఎంవిఎన్ టెస్ట్, అంతే. అంతకు మించి ఒక్క కూడా మాట్లాడు. యూ కాంట్ స్పీక్ మోర్ దెన్ సింగిల్ వర్డ్, రైట్? చివరికి దాని పని అట్లా అయిపోయింది పాపం. మేవనింగ్ డాకర్ కుబర్నెటీస్ అంటే మీకు అసలు లెక్కే ఉండదు. సో వాట్ ఈస్ ద డిపెండెన్సీ? ఐ డోంట్ నో. సింప్లీ బాబు దిస్ ఈజ్ మై హార్ట్, లుకింగ్ ఎట్ దిస్ విల్ డిస్కస్, బట్ దే విల్ ఆస్క్, హే వాట్ ఇస్ దిస్ package? So if you run this pom.xml file using Maven, you will get which one? Jar. That is called build over. Maven is over. Today, Maven over. Tomorrow we'll start the Jenkins. Happy ఉంటుంది. Really, go and see. You can't learn, no need. We never use Maven. We never use Maven in the industry, right? We never, that is developers' work. You just go and include the Maven in the Jenkins only. No need. So what is, we are going to jar? What is this? No, no, we don't worry. That is not our job actually. That is the developer's job. They will generate. What is snapshot? We don't know. Maven, maintains the two types of repositories: snapshot repositories, release repositories. Snapshots in the sense my project is under development. Release in the sense going to deploy to the production. Pichode butted adida ichchadu anavasaranga. Just like in GitHub tags, tag, but tag based deployment is your job. In Maven also, we have some release automation is there. But anyhow, without my intervention, see, we got one dependency, right? What dependency looking at? Group ID, artifact ID, version, scope. I don't know scope. I don't know types of scopes. I don't know dependency. Types of dependency. So no need actually. Maven and aslu avasaram ledhu. According to this current community, according to the current trend, according to the current generation, Maven is a worst tool. We should not use in the industry. Directly go to the Docker. Docker in the Docker also. Docker file only how to learn. No need to Docker networking, Docker Swarm. Docker Swarm is outdated. Don't learn it. It's in the place of Docker Swarm, you have to learn Kubernetes. Kubernetes is such a great tool. Orchestration, you have to learn it. Build generation, meek enduku ivanni. Without generating the build, why we need the orchestration? Sorry, sir, that is different part. In the part of course content, there is a Maven there. Right? Give Maven, right? I don't know why QH team is giving the Maven. Maybe Monday I'll talk with this. Why they given Maven? Then they will ask me, sir, you only generated. You only generates the content. Maven structure over, right? Maven build process we discuss. Introduction part we discuss. Dependencies, repositories, plugin. Yesterday only discussed, right? What is the dependencies, repositories, everything we discussed. Then tomorrow we'll start Gradle. Monday. Gradle also tool is there. Okay, see, got this structure actually. Simply MVN package. They'll ask this, just use this command. MVN is a command. What is a MVN package? If I hit it, so you just run that command. Enough. You can't do nothing. Any problems are encountered, developer will take care about it. MVN package. So in the pom.xml file, there is a packaging called as a jar, right? See, we got target folder. Under target folder, my project name with what? Snapshot.jar. This is called what? Artifact. Archetype is different. Artifact is different. Archetype is a template for generating the source code, right? Even I gave the definition, right? Artifact in the sense output of the archetype. When you run the code, you should get output, right? Like jar, Java archives. So you got packages. You package this thing, that's over. This is not where. Web archives is not there. Where in the sense? Web applications, right? But this jar is not a web application. Who is this, Mr. Akhil Narayana? I think so. You both are not suitable to ask to listen my question. We'll discuss. Java archives, right? Java archives. So, very nice boys. బాగా అలర్ట్లో ఉన్నారు. Zoom. Okay. So we'll discuss what is that MVN package. Actually, we ran the default lifecycle. We need to run some default lifecycle. We'll discuss. There are top 10 commands are there. We'll discuss everything. We'll discuss. Wait a couple of seconds. Wait. What is the output we got? Jar. Java RQs. jar stands for. Put the subheading. What is jar? Jar file in Java. You please note it down. Jar stands for Java RQs. Is a package file. So is a package file format. Okay. Simply collection of dot class files is nothing but build. Yesterday I gave definition, right? What is a build? Set of executable files generated after source code compilation. Okay. So jar is simply like a small, and if you want to deploy, we need a package, right? Now, this is for Windows application, just like a standalone. Jar file is used for standalone applications. అంటే ఏంటి? What is the meaning of that? What is the meaning of that? అంటే ఫైనల్ అవుట్పుట్ ఏదైతే ప్యాకేజ్ వస్తుందో ఆ ప్యాకేజ్ ద్వారానే మనం అప్లికేషన్ యాక్సెస్ చేస్తాం. సో దెర్ ఆర్ త్రీ బేసిక్ ఫార్మాట్స్: జార్, వేర్, ఇయర్ ఇన్ జనరల్. జార్ ఫర్ standalone application, where in the sense web application, year in the sense enterprise application. It means banking, finance, security, healthcare applications. We go for year, enterprise archives, right? Okay. Okay. So next, okay, we successfully generates the jar. Okay. For example, immediately, sir, I want to generate the where in the sense web application, archives, right? Okay. For this, see this one. What I given? Web app, my web pro, and something like my web pro. A given archetype artifact is maven hyphen archetype hyphen web app, right? Okay, we got another new structure looking at here. For web application code, if you are web developer, how the code is look like? See, we got cd my web pro ls. But go to the src, first open the pom.xml file. This time, same jar, but I should get what? Where actually? Looking at. Now, if I say cd src, right? అదేంటి డిఫరెంట్ రావాలి కదా. Okay, go back. ls, go back. ls, cd my web pro. Wait, something wrong. Archetype colon generator. करेक्ट करा है। ओके। वेब और हाइफन डी आर्कीटाइप आर्टिफैक्ट मेवन हाइफन आर्कीटाइप हाइफन वेब ऐप। देन व्हाट्स रॉन्ग? స్టాండర్డ్ వస్తుందేంటి? క్విక్ స్టార్ట్ తీసుకుంటుంది యాక్చువల్లీ. సి, నో ఆర్కిటైప్ డిఫైన్డ్. It is taking the fixed stat, but we gave. Okay, that's wrong actually. Wait, it's wrong, right? So something goes wrong. Okay, okay. Tell us. Maven archetype column generate. Ah, correct అండి. So something is missing. Then I do one thing. I find the interactive mode is equal to true if I say. Okay. Ah, something is going wrong. One second. Maven archetype web app. Correct only, right? Group ID, artifact ID, MVN hyphen archetype hyphen web app. Okay. ఏ వర్షన్ అండి 24 తీసుకుంది కదా. అవసరం లేదు యాక్చువల్లీ, డిఫాల్ట్గా అసలు అవసరమే లేదు. ఆ, ఇక్కడ ఇచ్చాడు కదా యాజ్ పర్ డాక్యుమెంటేషన్ ఈవెన్ ఎర్లియర్. సో లుకింగ్ ఎ లాస్ట్ వన్, యువర్ సేయింగ్ వర్షన్, ఆర్కిటైప్ వర్షన్, బట్ ఇక్కడ ఇది ఆల్రెడీ ఇది ఇచ్చాడు కదా. ఐఫన్ డి ఆర్కిటైప్ ఆర్టిఫాక్ట్. 1 సెకండ్. అంతే నాకు చెప్తాను. ఐఫన్ డి ఆర్కిటైప్. ఓ ఓకే, 1 సెకండ్. No, 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 no. Wait, 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 wait. Yes, it's a spelling mistake. Yes, looking at here, it should be a false. Now see, in the archetype, A should be capital. Artifact ID. వాడిని అడిగితే ఎంతే ఉంటుంది, వాడిని వదిలేసి. Just now, I think so. This time you should get. Right? Perfect. Now if I say ls cd web world, ls cd src. See, we got main, cd main. Looking at here, there is a resource and web application. cd web app, if you see, we'll get one small index.jsp web application, right? So cat index.jsp, see, this is a small hello world web page. So it means that the code is for web application. Earlier is the standalone applications. Ls. Now see, cd web world. If I say pom.xml file, vi pom.xml file, my package is ఇంకంతే. అసలు మనం we should not touch the single word, right? Blind spot learning, blind spot coming, blind spot going. Industry people are simply taking blindly, and you have to go and sit on the server blindly. Uh, that's why by default there is no test cases included for a web application. By default, the tool is generated, not you, right? That's why in web application we have to also, developer should add the test cases. Test cases is mandatory. Got it? So finally, you got name called web world. So we don't know. Simply maximum people test us copy dependency. అంతకు మించి what is the final name we don't want, package we don't want, and profile we don't want. Then ఎందుకు నేర్చుకున్నారు మీరు? What is the purpose of learning the Maven as a Selenium tester? So without using dependency also you can learn. Download anyhow before starts the Maven, you download the Selenium WebDriver jar only, not where. Selenium is not a where, it's a jar, Java keys. Am I right? So it's a standalone file, simple jar. Then you open the Eclipse and configure your build path. Am I right? That only you're doing, right? And then again, why you're using Maven? So if people stress, if they stress, yesterday that's why I gave the question multiple times. If multiple teams, if keep on versions are changing, today one X version Selenium, tomorrow may version, maybe new version comes. Day after tomorrow, one more version. Every time dependencies are changing. If you don't update it, the teams will be affected. That's why I just tell inside the dependency as a Selenium jar. Then automatically updates the repository. So no need to download the jar manually. So to automate that process, we use Maven. For that purpose only they use Maven? No. Maven giving almost 20, 30 features are there with the Maven. One of the file is build file is a mvn pom.xml file. Now again, people simply mvn package. So after run this code, we got one. Even you testing guys never understand how build is received. Ask your leads, even 10 years, 15 years guys also. That is not my job. My DevOps engineer generates the web application, they deployed it. The shell script we have seen, right? We deployed the e-commerce website or not in the Tomcat. That is your job. I mean, senior tester lead also can do that. See, what is this? Web-world.var. So if you open this var file and keep into your Tomcat, you can access the web application called Hello World static page. This is what? Var. So var is also a artifact. So without coding, no jar. Without coding, no var. That's a coding is not your job. Coding is effectively built by the developer. But take the code, you have to generate the build. That is your job. Okay. Next. There is a year. Enterprise archives. Enterprise archives. But it is a big one for you. I will show you, but we need to fix some errors. As of now, how many POMs we got? In the jar and var line, how many pom.xml file created every time? Only one. Just keep in mind. Let me see. This time, what is that? J2EE hyphen. This is enterprise word. Enterprise word, right. Okay. Now see the structure. See, this is a archetype and a code generate అవుతుంది. It generates the code. Okay. CLS, CD. Was looking at main POM, okay, but we got EJBs, projects, servlets, and SRC. Open everything. Suppose CD ER. Enterprise Java beans. Nowadays, no one is using. POM.xml again, SRC. Complex modules, multiple modules, right? Enterprise level in the sense, big model. For every module, we have one POM. So if you're looking at my previous notes, multi-module management. Maven supports multi-module, big projects. So we don't know resource, but we need to simply generates the package. And so Malayal Sogal people saying like that is not required, this is not required. ఏం నేర్చుకుంటారో ఏంటి. Let's టెస్టర్సే వాడినప్పుడు డెవాప్స్ ఇంజిన్ వాడరా, కామన్ సెన్స్ రైట్. మరి మోకాళ్ళలో ఉంటుంది బ్రెయిన్, అంటే ఇప్పుడు ఇట్లా ఇలా ఉంటుంది. టెస్టర్స్ మాత్రం ఐఎమ్ సెలీనియం టెస్టర్, ఐఎమ్ గోయింగ్ టు ఇంటిగ్రేట్. మీరేమో పెద్ద పెద్ద మహానుభావులు, యూ ఓపెన్ ద జెన్కిన్స్ అండ్ యూ యాడింగ్ ద పామ్ డాట్ ఎక్స్ఎంఎల్ ఫైల్ ఇన్సైడ్ ద జెన్కిన్స్ అండ్ యు ఆర్ క్రియేటింగ్ నలూరి రిపోర్ట్స్ అండ్ XML రిపోర్ట్స్ అండ్ టెస్ట్ ఎంజిన్ రిపోర్ట్స్ అండ్ బ్లా బ్లా. యూ డూ డాన్స్ రైట్ ఆన్ ద ఫ్లై, దట్ టు అప్లికేషన్ టెస్టర్. బట్ డెవాప్స్ ఇంజనీర్ మాత్రం దట్ ఈస్ ద ఓల్డ్ వన్. అరే కామన్ సెన్స్. దీస్ గైస్ విల్ టాక్ అబౌట్ డాకర్లో బిల్ లేకపోతే చంపు పడేస్తాం మాన్యువల్గా. పోతే పోతుంది యాక్చువల్గా. విల్ లెట్ us గో ఫర్ జైల్. అరే బాబు, వితౌట్ హ్యావింగ్ కామన్ సెన్స్, హౌ యూ పీపుల్ లైక్ దట్స్ ఐ హూ ఆర్ సేయింగ్ లైక్ నో మ్యావెన్ CDCI according to them CDCI CDCI, oh CDCI pipeline, not CI/CD. Docker also no, no. Okay, then without build, how the Docker? All the Amrit we discussed right last week. So even for example, I'm a Docker. I want to learn Docker, right? In what Docker, what you're learning? Question mark. Image. Image is also built. I too accepted, but image is getting from where? Source code, right? So source code is nothing but again build you get, right? That build you have to give to the Docker. Then the Docker will generate as an image. So there also Maven is required. But no, no, no. Run. There is one instruction called run run. Looking at here. Just now I'll complete. Arey Babu. What the you guys are trying to say. For example, what is this? What is this? చెప్పాలా వద్దా? చెప్పబోతే మరి ఎలా వస్తుంది? హౌ డాకర్ నో దట్ యు గాట్ సమ్ వేర్, ద టోటల్ వేర్ ఐ హావ్ టు కన్వర్ట్ ఇన్ టు ఇమేజ్. స్క్రూ నట్స్ లూజ్ అయినాయి ఇక్కడ, సమ్వేర్ వీ హ్యావ్ టు టైట్ ఇట్, రైట్? దిస్ ఈస్ కాల్డ్ డాకర్. సచ్ సింపుల్ 10 lines generally. That's we'll discuss later, right? That is not a big deal. So Maven doesn't matter, Maven or Kubernetes. Every tool is important in the pipeline. If you don't want yes, we can directly go to Docker and Helm and Kubernetes. But build automation is mandatory, and deployment automation is mandatory. Now orchestration deployment. Now people are talking about microservice, right? That's why I use the word here in the beginning of the days. If you see it, so without understanding the microservices, how can I? So right now we are trying to generate the build. Okay, now if you see ls, if I say mvn package, you will get error because multiple POMs involved it. Each and every module you have to integrate. See, some problems are encountered while processing the POM. Child module, something like linking problem, right? Multiple POMs are there, right? How can I link each and every module, right? That's why if you open the bi pom.xml file, main pom.xml file, see what is this? Module, projects, primary source, servlets, EJBs, year and site. Big applications have a big module. Every module is one POM. Collect all the modules and connect into one environment. But here, the final build you have to generate. So according to the current market, legacy enterprise applications are running, but rarely. Maintenance, all the enterprise applications are in maintenance. No new developments, right, from the scratch. Like banking, finance, security, and healthcare are already deployed into the thousands of servers, right? Only small enhancements only they are doing, right? But current application is a microservices. So in the microservices, how Maven is used. In the microservices, how Maven is going to integrate inside the Docker. Then if you know that point, then crystal clear point. So for monolithic application, no need to use the containers. You can use a container, but no need. For web monolithic, everything you are keeping into one single application, single environment. That is called as a 3-tier architecture. But nowadays, it is a microservices. So each and every application contains different services, right? That's if you understand the both differences. For example, they'll ask this question as a tester like you, what kind of application it is? People say web application. Then how can you say it's a web application? Any application open the browser that is called a web application. Fantastic definition. Asalgi adbhutam. Any application open through web is called a web application, right? Okay. Then what about the microservices? Microservice is also a web application. We use a jar actually. We use jar. Previous one we got jar, right? So that's the first you should understand what is a application. Web application kin microservices. Both are actual architecture. Monolithic architecture and microservice architecture. Okay. So we'll see the difference. Right now we don't want to talk. Got it. See what is the packaging? It means that it is going to connecting to multiple POMs. If you are not remove this, like if you are not handle these modules, then you can't get the final product called as a ER, Enterprise RQs, right? Got it. So Monday I will give the more crystal clear, right? How to use Maven in the microservice architecture. Okay, right now we are using the traditional, right? Monolithic applications, jar, var, and ER. But in microservices, build format is image. మైక్రో సర్వీసెస్ అనే వర్డ్ వస్తే కళ్ళు మూసుకొని ఎస్ దెర్ ఇస్ ఎ అవుట్పుట్ ఫార్మాట్ కాల్డ్ ఇమేజ్. దట్స్ వై బిల్ ఫార్మాట్స్ వాట్ ఐ సెడ్ జార్ వేర్ ఇయర్ అండ్ ఇమేజ్. ఓకే. Got it. Three commands, three formats. Like one is a jar, var, year. Year we'll discuss Monday, how it generates, right? But, okay. So what you understand this 1.5 hours, 1 hour, 20 minute session? Just we configure the Maven and we understood the what is the archetype in the code. From the code, once you execute, you will get output. Output is nothing but artifact. No need to buy it. Archetype is different. Artifact is different. Okay. But how Maven generates a jar, var, area through lifecycle? That's why please heading introduction to Maven lifecycles. Introduction to Maven lifecycle. So there are three types of lifecycle we discussed, right? One is default. Second one is clean. Third one is site. Three life cycles. Default, clean, and site life cycle. Got it? So default life cycle is the main cycle. And already said it's a predefined. What is the main purpose of life cycle? Life cycle and you learn SDLC, STLC, bug life cycle. Life cycle is a collection of phases. Phases, right? Each and every phase contains collection of plugins. Each and every plugin contains goals. We don't like to speak the terminology. That's a command. Daridram. Asta daridraha. So what is the MEN command? If I want to stop and if I say, hey, could you please explain the Maven goals? What is the goal? My goal is need to get a job. వాట్ ఈస్ అ మ్యావెన్ గోల్? అరే బాబు, మ్యావెన్ గోల్ ఇన్ ద సెన్స్ ఆడికి ఆ భాషలో చెప్పకూడదు. వాట్ ఈస్ అ మ్యావెన్ కమాండ్? ఎస్, దెన్ MEN ప్యాకేజ్. దట్స్ నాట్ మై టెర్మినాలజీ. అపాచీ గివెన్ a terminology. You should call as a goal. Okay. So we have a different phases are there, right? 23 phases are there. You should not remember it. But 11, 11 goals, please try to remember it. Okay. So first I will list down what are the 23 pages from MVN validate to MVN site. MVN validate to MEN site. In between we have MVN validate, MVN initialize it, MVN MVN compile, MVN test compile, MVN package. Then before that pre-package. Then after that MVN install, MVN verify. Before that pre-integration, integration, post-integration. But a life cycle build, right? Build is nothing but lots of steps will be involved, right? Okay. So what is the resources? What is the compile? What are the differences between MVN compile and MVN test compile? One of the top interview question, right? So, yeah, and I'll give you the notes, right? Definitely. నువ్వు వింటున్నప్పుడు ఐఎమ్ వెరీ హ్యాపీ, రైట్? దట్స్ వై ఐ విల్ ఎక్స్ప్లెయిన్ ఎవ్రీ బిట్. సపోజ్ సిడి web world, right? Okay, tell us. See, suppose I'm giving like a MVN clean first. Clean in the sense it clean the target folder. See, very blind spot point is if you run any MVN command or goal, if it is successfully done, you will get target folder. Within the target only, output like a artifact will be saved. Got it? The target is very essential till Docker. Keep this point. Okay. So if I say ls, see, target folder is gone. Suppose MVN, I give something like, but sir, you said 23 pages, 25 pages, you said, right? 23 only I said. In the default, not clean. If I take clean, pre-clean, clean, post-clean. If I take like a site, pre-site, post-site, site, one more. The 4 plus 3, 7 and 25, 23 pages. Total 30 pages are there. But no need to remember all 30 pages, right? Just at least 15 on the fly, right? So you have to learn that. Build life cycle and అదే చెప్పాలి. MVN validate, MVN compile, MVN test compile, MVN package, like, okay, MVN pre-integration, post-integration, then verify, install, deploy, site, clean something. See, what is this? You must specify or goal in the format of plugin prefix goal. Actual command, MVN plugin colon goal. MVN, that's why behind you, suppose you are seeing me, but brain is functioning to see at me, right? So MVN package, if you done it, behind some plugins will work. Without plugin, no Maven. Without plugin, no Maven. Without dependency, no code. Got my point? Dependency in the sense talking to the Java code. Hey, if that plugin is missed, I can't run the command. But okay, plugin is there, but code is not there. Code is there, but no software. Then how the code will run? So Java code run avali ante Java related packages, Java related software should install, right? So according to the software in Maven, we call it the dependency. Dependency is different, plugin is different. That's why Maven dependency management, plugin management, build automation, release automation, source code repository management, and number of things. See, available lifecycle phases are, see, This total three life cycle. See, pre-clean, clean, post-clean. This is which phase? Clean phase actually. Please note it down. Pre-clean, clean, post-clean. Okay. Next, these phases are default. From 2 here. There are 23 phases are there. Wait, no need to remember everything. I will highlight, just note it down. Monday we'll discuss very clearly. Please note it down. Validate. MVN validate. Next, MVN initialize it. Next, MVN compile. Order is most important, guys. Okay. Next, test compile. Test compile. Test-compile. Okay. Looking at validate, initialize, compile, and test compile. Next, test, MVN test. Next, MVN prepare-package. Next package. Please note it down till end. Pre-integration test, post-integration test, verify, install, deploy. Okay. So recollect one more time. MVN validate, MVN initialize, MVN compile, MVN test compile. Next, MVN test, prepare package, MVN package, pre-integration test, integration test, post-integration test, MVN verify, MVN install, MVN deploy. Next, finally, site lifecycle, please. Last one is site lifecycle. That's a 3 lifecycle: clean lifecycle, default lifecycle, site lifecycle. This lifecycle for generating the reports. Pre-site, site, post-site, site deploy. Okay, next week we are going to kick all 10 projects, right? Every day one project, which is very essential in the CI level. So, which is used called as integrating the software packages with the Tomcat and integrating the packages inside the Wildfly servers. And we'll integrate the Docker also. Without knowing the Docker, we can generate the Docker images in the Maven. See, according to Maven, you are just plugin. That's all. Sit down. And Maven says that you just add the Docker plugin. Even where you get all the plugins, common sense. There is a one central repository called what? MVN repository. MVN repository. In the MVN repository, see, if you say like a Docker, see, Docker Java plugin, Docker client plugin. If I click on Docker Java, so we have some plugin called 3.5.1. See, we got some Docker Java plugin. What nonsense you are going to talk? Suppose if you say Kubernetes, Man, the developers, if you ask the developer, go and ask your full stack developer, like big brother, big sister, who are having 15 and 20 years experience in Java side. Arey babu, those are all plugins. Just go. Just shut up. సింప్లీ మీరేమో ఓ సౌండ్ చేసేస్తూ ఉంటారు డాకర్ కుబర్నెటీస్ అకార్డింగ్ టు దెమ్ ఇట్ ఈస్ ఏ ప్లగిన్ జస్ట్ యాడ్ ద ప్లగిన్ దే డెవలప్ ద డాకర్ రిలేటెడ్ స్టఫ్ నౌ యాజ్ అ డెవాప్స్ ఇంజనీర్ ఆల్సో యూ హ్యావ్ టు ఎక్స్ప్లోర్ దిస్ డాకర్ ఫ్రమ్ ద అప్లికేషన్ పాయింట్ ఆఫ్ వ్యూ. Why should I need a container? How to create the container? How many number of containers require it? How to integrate it? How to configure it? How to deploy it? How to scale it? How to form the networking? How to secure my applications? That moment developer is saying like that is not my job. DevOps engineer will take care about. Just leave it. What is their what is their objective? What is their responsibility? Build the code. That's it. So if they want Docker importance in the microservices, they use a Docker. That's why developer know very well about the service discovery, service configuration, service load. Even that's why we'll have microservice also. I'll tell you. So how to use the Maven in the microservices. Okay. So that's it. And see you on Monday at Monday at 6 o'clock. Thank you guys. Happy weekend.